The day my husband Derek told me he was going to leave me with nothing, he had no idea I had already prepared for that moment. Outside the courthouse, he stood beside Brielle, the woman he had been secretly dating, and smiled like he had already won. He whispered that I would lose our home, our money, and everything we had built together. He expected me to cry or beg, but I stayed completely calm. What he did not know was that the bag beside me contained months of evidence. I had been married to Derek for 7 years. I was the quiet, organized one who handled our finances, mortgage, bills, savings, and insurance, while he focused on his career. In the beginning, he called me his rock. But slowly, he began taking me for granted. He called me boring and wanted a more exciting life. I kept trying to make our marriage work because I believed we were supposed to support each other. Then, one rainy evening, I found a jewelry receipt inside Derek's coat. It was for an expensive diamond bracelet purchased in Seattle. The problem was that Derek had told me he was in Chicago on a business trip that day. I did not confront him. Instead, I searched his social media and found Brielle wearing the exact bracelet in a photo posted that same day. My heart broke, but I stayed quiet. I checked our finances and discovered something even worse. Derek had secretly transferred thousands of dollars from our shared accounts. Then I found that my $50,000 inheritance from my grandmother was completely gone. Derek had taken the money and used it as a down payment on a condominium in his own name. I kept investigating and found gambling losses, hidden credit card charges, expensive hotel stays, and missed mortgage payments. Derek was not only cheating on me, he was secretly destroying our financial future while preparing to leave. For weeks, I acted like everything was normal. I cooked his meals, listened to his stories, and pretended to believe his lies. Behind the scenes, I copied bank statements, saved photographs, documented the condominium, protected my credit, and recorded every asset we owned. Then, I hired a divorce lawyer named Walter Hayes. After reviewing everything, he told me to remain patient. We would allow Derek to believe he was winning and wait for him to submit his financial disclosure to the court. When Derek received the divorce papers, he came home furious. But after I told him I knew about Brielle, his anger quickly became confidence. He told me that he loved her and warned me that his lawyer would destroy me. He said I could not afford our house and would walk away with almost nothing. I simply told him that I had a lawyer, too. Derek moved into the condominium he had bought with my inheritance, believing his new life was finally beginning. Then came the court hearing. Derek's lawyer presented him as the main financial provider and claimed that he had disclosed all his assets. Derek sat beside him looking completely confident. Walter stood up and opened the evidence folder. First came the $50,000 transfer from my inheritance. Then came the condominium records. After that were the hidden bank account, gambling losses, credit card charges, and proof of his relationship with Brielle. Derek went pale. The judge asked whether the documents were accurate. Derek tried to explain, but he had signed his financial disclosure under oath. His lawyer quickly realized that Derek had hidden important information from him, too. The judge awarded me our marital home and the condominium as repayment for my stolen inheritance. Derek was left responsible for his gambling and other debts. He looked at me and whispered that he would have nothing. I remembered all the years I had spent protecting him, fixing his mistakes, and making myself smaller so he could feel bigger. Then I calmly reminded him that he had always called himself the provider, so I was sure he would figure things out. I walked away. Brielle was waiting outside. When she learned Derek had lost the condominium and was facing serious debt, her attitude changed immediately. She looked toward the courtroom and then walked away without him. When I finally drove home, I expected to feel devastated. Instead, I felt lighter than I had in years. I realized that I'd spent 7 years carrying responsibilities that were never truly mine. That evening, I opened the spreadsheet where I had recorded every lie, every payment, and every hidden transaction. I looked at it one final time and deleted it. I did not need to track Derek anymore. He had promised to take everything from me, but in the end, he gave me something far more valuable: my freedom. I learned that being quiet does not mean being weak. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is simply the one paying the closest attention. Derek thought he was walking into court to destroy me. He never realized I had already prepared the truth, and when the truth finally came out, I did not need to fight him. The evidence spoke for me.